When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices. Plus, extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with points. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
There's no better feeling than a personal win, and the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you do just that. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
9000 or go to renewsleep.com.
And now, live from the TCL broadcast studios, it's Joe Souchere and Patrick Royce with Sports Talk.
Not only does Vegas get to watch as the other side goes to 7 games,
yes,
the Stanley Cup doesn't even begin until Memorial Day night.
So we're waiting. We're not. We never change the date. We decide when the dates are for TV purposes. But everybody does that now. So everybody sets their dates, and then the TV cameras don't move around. So
did you see the email from Terry regarding that, Joe?
No.
You brought up the debate about the run for Vegas and whatnot, and he says, "What would happen if an expansion radio station were to open up a new signal? Who would be selected?
Who would we protect?"
We would say, instead of protecting 9, we'd just say, you can take over.
You know what? Take your chance.
Yeah, just throw it.
You know what? Go ahead.
Roll the
dice.
I'm essential.
You're on your own. Yeah, I would guess who would be the first guy they'd protect here. I think they'd pretty much just say, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yep. I'm not going to worry about it.
Yeah. Hey, Phil Hughes is apparently going to get bought out. They put him on a waiver. They still owe him $22 million, and for next year, for the rest of this year and next year, and he never was able to regain his fastball after his one great season, 2014, and he'd had some good seasons with the Yankees before that. But do you know what Phil probably remembers most from his Twins career?
$22 million.
It wasn't issuing 16 walks in 209 2/3 innings. It wasn't winning 16 games. It was he was on the hill when Souchere and Racey did their one inning of exhibition baseball.
Is that right?
Somebody pointed that out to me today, that Hughes was on the hill.
I thought it was Boof Bonzer.
Maybe it was Boof. This guy was wrong. You're right.
Boof.
Okay.
Boof.
Some guy emailed me and said it was Hughes.
Because you guys did that.
Otherwise, we screwed it up so bad we didn't even know who the pitcher was.
Because you guys did that before Hughes was on the team.
Hughes was pitching for the Yankees.
Yeah.
Right. Hughes was pitching.
Twins didn't have him yet.
Yeah, Hughes was the phenom for the Yankees.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Hughes versus Boof. And in fact,
we can't look that up at Baseball Almanac.
In fact, Terry Ryan was so impressed by what he heard on the play-by-play of Hughes' assortment.
We got to sign that guy.
Yeah. Said, boy, if we ever get a chance, we're going to get this guy.
Boof glaring in.
I was listening to the broadcast, and apparently Hughes has a screwball.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He's got the umpire so confused, he's raising his hand on pitches that are outside the strike zone, and that's fantastic. Lost his fastball. He could never...
two surgeries, right?
Yeah, he was a fastball pitcher, and with impeccable control. And he threw the cutter, which is basically a fastball that moves, and the fastball 90% of the time when he had his good year. And he tried to come up with an assortment of pitches, but he never really had a good... He had a big kind of sloppy curveball he could throw. Never had a quick one, and he never had a changeup. In fact... I think when he came back in 16 after his first bad year, or maybe it was even his spring of 17, he was the New York beat writers, the Yankee writers, all loved him. And they were all sending him texts saying, when are we going to read the story about Phil Hughes trying to add a changeup this year? Because each one of them somewhere in his 8 years there wrote the Phil Hughes is going to add a changeup this year story, and he never had an assortment of pitches, and so he could not. C.C. Sabathia transformed himself as a junk ball pitcher, and Hughes did not have those pitches. So.
I think $22 million is not a bad.
I would guess he'll probably be on the plane tomorrow morning to get to Tampa to watch his Lightning play Game 7.
Oh, I bet, sure.
Big Lightning fan because he was a kid in the Yankee system, by himself, and Yankees were right next to the hockey arena, so he started going to hockey games to kill time during spring training.
Because Sharkman brought him down the goal light, right? The Tampa goal light.
He has the goal light that lights up whenever the Lightning scores.
Is he a Tampa resident?
No. But he became a fan, and he got to know some of the players, and he stayed. He was with the Yankees for 10 years there in Tampa, so and he got to know them, and he became a fan. But he's got the goal light that whenever they score, even if they're playing in San Jose and you're in Fort Myers and it's 1 a.m,
it goes off. Such, we got to get you one of those.
That'd be kind of neat.
That's right. I don't know which team we're going to do it. The Canadiens.
Les Habitants. Yeah.
Rook, you got the audio of Paul Fenton, the new Wild GM. Have you heard his remarks, Pat?
I was there.
I just wondering what you thought of them.
People always talk about winning the press conference, and that's become the new thing. He won the press conference, or he didn't win the press conference.
I do.
I thought he got beaten in a shootout.
All right, let's hear it.
In the press
let's hear it.
I thought it was okay.
You always have to make tweaks and changes to rosters, and to come here to a team that has been in the playoffs 6 times, it obviously doesn't need to be overhauled. You have a lot of really good veteran pieces, young guys that are coming, and I'm looking forward to just trying to put some finishing touches to help us win.
All right, playoffs 6 times.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? They've won twice in the second round.
No, this is the message that Craig Leopold wants to send to the fans, that we're on the cusp, and we just need to add a player or two because he wants that traditional 96% ticket renewal that he gets every year. I think, just my guess is that 4 familiar players will be gone before training camp starts. I think he'll make 4.
That doesn't sound like a tweak.
I think he'll do more than tweak, but they're giving you the tweak. And in fact, tweak was so popular, I suggested they were going to change their name to the Tweaks.
Ooh, the Tweaks.
The Minnesota Tweaks.
What the mascot was.
What was your logo?
We don't know what a Wild is,
right.
So we might as well not.
Plus,
have
we don't know what Nordy is, so just leave him.
He's
fine.
58 years old. He's been at it for a while.
I know.
You know who he was a college teammate of briefly?
Boston College, right?
Boston U. Jim Craig.
Jim Craig?
Except I looked it up. Craig's last year at BU, Fenton was on the roster, but he didn't actually play, so he was a freshman, and Craig was their goalie. So.
Are the 1980 Olympians getting to be about that age?
I was talking to Bob Mason today, and actually got Craig's phone number from him. But then I decided when I looked it up that they didn't really have that strong of a connection, him and Fenton. But he said that Craig is still out there making motivational speeches.
Yeah, well, nothing like a Ruzioni.
Not like a Ruzioni, no. But Craig was the runner-up.
Yeah,
as far as that. But Ruzioni had that big personality, right? He's the guy that you guys basically got to talk to after every game. He was the one guy you could really get stuff from, right?
Yeah, he was chatty.
Oh yeah, he saw the opportunity.
The great thing is when we had. Why do we have Bratz on? It was either Bratz or it was a Painter, and we said, guess what former Olympian is in town and what's he doing? And whoever said, Eruzioni, where's he giving a speech? Right away, without any clues. Okay. It's got to be Eruzioni. Where's he speaking?
What the hell? What? He got the winner, right? Didn't he get the winner?
Yep.
He got the winner.
Why don't we take a break, and I got a baseball question for you.
All righty.
Hey, Sally, we're on the air.
I know. I got it.
Rosario had a great game last night.
Yeah, and the night before.
Manufactured a run, made a wonderful catch, but he also almost killed himself in Buxton. Did you see that?
I missed that one, but
He
I heard
raced
about
into
it.
center field where he shouldn't have been.
Okay.
Well, does he get talked to about that?
Yeah, they
Yeah, Gardy
probably
tells him to
should.
keep doing it.
Yeah.
Next time a ball was hit out there, you could hear Buxton yelling, don't worry, I got this.
Okay, that's good. Well, maybe he's getting Buxton on the tip of his toes there. For that last catch to win the game, though, was pretty good.
Nice catch.
Did you see the quote from Fernando Rodney on that one? He says, Why is he celebrating? He said he thought it was gone. He
thought the guy
didn't think he'd caught it. He says it was some quote like that. Why was he celebrating?
He didn't even know whether to pull the arrow back.
No, I don't think he ever did.
I don't think he did
He
either.
did
When
not,
you
'cause
watched-
he didn't have time. I don't think he ever did.
When you watch the hit too on TV, it did look, from the angle the camera was at, it did look like it went out at first. But then, Rosario kind of flipped the ball up.
That was a great catch, but that wasn't nearly as much fun as his catch on Sunday when he just kind of ran back to the wall, and he was going back to the wall, and all of a sudden he goes whoosh, and he reaches out to his left and just snares the damn thing. That was an impossible catch. One of the goofiest catches I've ever seen.
Only 3 games away from getting excited about him. There's still 3 games under 500.
Yeah, the other team, Cleveland's still going to win 90. So
I have a question for you,
Yes.
dum-dums. And I don't know if I should ask this when he's in town, but what's the advisability of Gardy hiring these coaches that worked here if it just got them all fired here?
Well, here's the
Why
deal.
is it going to work out for him?
Here's the deal. They got Kenny. There's now 7 coaches on a staff. And he's got 3 of his guys. There's 4 other guys. For instance, Rick Anderson is the bullpen coach.
Do I
Which
even
means-
have a legitimate question? Because these
well,
guys all
I'm
got
just trying
gassed
to
here.
give you an answer. Rick Anderson's the bullpen coach.
Yeah.
That means you slap him on the back and say, go get them, boys.
Oh.
And the pitching coach, he was the pitching coach here, Chris Basio, who got run out of the Cubs, but has got a good reputation, is his pitching coach. His hitting coach is Steve Little and Joe Vavra are his guys on the bench.
Yeah.
Those 2 of his guys.
Got to have a bench coach.
But he's got both hitting coaches are not his guys, and he got 4. He got 3 of the 7 coaches, and he did offer Scotty Alger. He called him, and Scotty said, "No, I'm done." So he did not hire him. But I think that I think if you got a good pitching coach and hitting coach, it doesn't make any difference who the hell the other guys are.
All right.
Well, plus when you lose coaches like that, they're ceremoniously let go. That's just that's inevitable.
But sometimes they get 2-year deals, you know. So if the coach gets, I think some of these, when Gardy when he got fired, had a year left on his contract. Basically, everybody thought he was going to get fired after 13, and then he coached 14 or managed 14. But it was basically the 2-year contract was a going away present from Terry Ryan because he knew that the odds were very strong that Gardy would get fired.
Is this
after
Mahler's
14.
4th year already?
Yeah, it's his 4th year. Yeah,
God
he's got a new
almighty.
contract already, right? Yeah. Lousy. No, first year, okay, better than expected. Second year, worst in franchise history.
Yep.
Last year, one of the most surprisingly decent seasons in baseball history, and now we're
3
back.
games under 500.
Now this one is really mindful of 2011 when they went in the tank because of all the injuries they have. That you remember 2011 was BLW down in Tampa. I never say the phrase, but BLW down in Tampa and Morneau and the whole deal. So.
What's BLW?
It involves the legs, but I don't.
Oh, bilateral leg week.
Oh, you're going to get blocked.
I don't use the term.
Right. You don't want to get blocked.
Use the term. So, but that whole year, just became a complete train wreck. And by the end of the year, they were having guys on the mound that
didn't you allow one exception for a guy on Twitter with the BLW line?
Some guy made a bilateral joke about something that was kind of funny.
I think that was the twins, the pregnancy.
Oh yes,
I think that was bilateral egg weakness.
Yes,
yes. And that was good.
That one I'll accept.
That was clever.
That one I'll accept.
When is Irvin Santana ever going to be heard from?
He was supposed to pitch yesterday and got rained out in the fort, so they flew him to Chattanooga, and now he's going to pitch Wednesday. So,
God Almighty, my finger hurt. I got to get I got to get a surgery.
Joe.
Oh, I fine him $5 million.
It's
what the hell?
It's a very important. It's important to have your digits.
Not really.
To pitch.
Joe,
did he have 4 of the 5? That's close enough.
That's
On his
I
think it's the middle, right?
On his pitching.
Yeah, it was his middle finger.
It was his slider finger.
Yeah, okay.
I thought
That's
the other day,
80%.
Mayor. I was watching a game, yes, rookie, that did not involve the Twins, and there was a batter who was just every pitch ripping apart the batting gloves, and I thought Joe would be losing his mind.
Make a lot of
now.
money finding him.
I'm banning Velcro.
Banning Velcro. Best idea ever.
It really is.
No Velcro in baseball.
You take the Velcro out of baseball, and you solve what some people consider a problem, which is length of game.
Yes. Kelly, however, 20 years ago, was complaining when they started wearing the armor. When they started putting these Barry Bonds looked like a Michelin Man, and they started putting those, and then they ended up with AJ and some of these guys. But it's ridiculous to let those guys go up there and stand on top of the plate, knowing that if a guy runs the ball inside, it just falls off him.
Yep.
If you get hit with if you stand on top of the plate, you're supposed to risk pain. You're supposed to be able to risk. Right. You should be risking pain if you stand on top.
Be a tough guy. Don't be
Not
a wuss.
anymore.
Don't be leaning in and be a wuss.
But tonight, who we got chucking tonight?
I don't have a paper in front of me.
Well, Phil Hughes is still getting paid, so he's not going to be on the mound, but he's still cashing his check.
Phil declined to talk to the troops after yesterday's game, but he did tweet out his thanks to the.
Well, he won't do a presser or anything like that, will he? No, probably.
Well, he probably won't be back at the park. I wouldn't think. So,
I have
Lance
a paper.
Lynn is chucking tonight.
Oh, right, your guy.
Oh God, that'll be a 4-hour game tonight.
Maybe he'll decide tonight's the night he's going to throw some strikes.
Well, if he's going to face a lineup to do that against, it's probably going to be this one. Boy, is that a bad ball club, Detroit.
In the PGA, we have the Colonial this week.
Yes.
Why don't we have the Memorial on Memorial Day weekend?
Jack wanted to move it because of many years of rain on that weekend. And apparently they decided that the weather pattern was very wet on Memorial Day weekend in Muirfield, Ohio.
All right.
That sounds like BS.
Conspiracy?
Yeah, that's BS.
Could be BS, but that's what they said,
Well,
Jack, in fact, remember Kenny years ago went so far as to hire some kind of a phony American Indian to do a non-rain dance that got some pub that did not go over real well.
I wonder why.
What is it, 1899?
Yeah, Jack
world?
was
What the hell?
Jack had to apologize, which is not one of Jack's strong points.
somehow Jack thought that'd be a good idea.
Jeez.
Horse Talk will be back in just a moment, but now, thanks to our great friends in Owatonna, Minnesota at Federated Insurance, where it's their business to protect your business, and nobody does that better than Federated. It's Bruce Vail from the Wall Street Journal and Your Money Now.
Look, I'm sure Chief Jay Strongbow appreciated the gig. I mean, times were tough back then. We had a strong rally Monday, but no such thing today. Stocks failed to hold on to early gains. The major indexes lower at the close, with the Dow Industrials down 178 points today. The Nasdaq Composite dropped 15, and the S&P 500 lost 8 points. In its latest crackdown on the controversial dietary supplement Kratom, the Food and Drug Administration issued warning letters to 3 companies that market and distribute the substance as a treatment for opioid addiction, pain, pain and other symptoms. FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb said the agency determined that kratom, which is a plant-based supplement, is actually an opioid analog, making it unsuitable for treating opioid addiction or withdrawal symptoms. A lot of people got gift bags at last weekend's royal wedding. They gave out about 1,200 of them, and apparently some people would rather sell them than keep them. The official gift bag contained a bottle of water, a refrigerator magnet, and some other souvenirs. Some people are hawking them on eBay now. One has a bid of $27,000, though it remains to be seen whether that's a genuine bid or not. I'm Bruce Vail with Your Money Now on 1500 ESPN.
Okay, Bruce, thank you very much. We'll cut you loose so we can check traffic here in this report sponsored by Indeed. And let's go right to Bloomington, where we have a crash between we have a crash on southbound 35W between 98th and 110th. That's why traffic is jamming as you come out of the Crosstown Commons. It's 15-20 minutes from the 494 strip down to the Burnsville split. And westbound 62 on the brakes at 55 due to the single lane at 34th. Are you hiring? With Indeed, you can...
Here's John Haidt.
You just got it. That's today. Except for the year.
Oh, yeah, 16 years ago.
Except for the year.
5/22/02, right?
I wondered why you guys were talking about it earlier.
Gotcha.
The song, Kenny, the date, 5/22.
Golden Smog, 5/22/02. Does that impress you? Okay.
I saw these guys play at the Caboose in front of 9 people.
No, wait a minute. Golden Smog. They have Gary Lewis. At the fair, I knelt in front of him because I'm Chris Reavers.
Yeah. And Chris, you're basically right. I did see their very first gig.
See? I knew it.
Yeah.
73 and partly sunny in the Twin Cities. Twins Tigers.
Who the hell are they? I never heard of them.
They're
offshoot of
members of other bands, local bands that got together.
Those don't count.
Wilco, too. Not just local. Not just local.
John's always
Traveling Wilburys. Not for me.
Aren't they?
Nah.
John, just
be your own band. Don't start.
Who is
melding
Traffic
with
Smog?
Twins Tigers again tonight from Target Field. Lance Lynn pitches for the Twins. Lefty Matthew Boyd goes for the Tigers.
He's not bad. A pretty good lefty against this lineup. Maybe that's why we called up my guy, Ryan Lamar.
Yeah, could be. Lamar takes the spot. Thank you for that segue, Patrick, of Phil Hughes. Hughes designated for assignment by the Twins, still owing him $22 million.
Wonder if there's any insurance involved. Probably not. Not this far into the contract. So.
Paul Fenton introduced as the new GM of the Minnesota Wild today. He said the team has a good nucleus with the veterans and young players, and you know what they need? Tweaks.
Tweaks.
We want to tweak. We want to tweak. Let's go, Tweaks. Let's go, Tweaks. I think that'll work.
John,
by the way, this guy's got a kid that's got a PhD from MIT.
I heard that. Yeah. He's a chemist, right?
What a dummy.
Yeah.
What's up, nerd?
What a dork.
Yeah.
loser.
See you.
Hey, Patrick, the volcano that's erupting in Hawaii.
Yes.
So we posted a live video stream of it to the GL page earlier today.
Yeah.
And Rookie off the air pointed out and he said, I wonder if it's like the Yule log Channel 45 just runs on Christmas Day.
It just keeps running.
It's the same 5-second clip over and over again.
It's a gift.
It's orange. I didn't know it was orange, man. It's not looking good there. Wow.
There's a lot of stuff coming out of Mother's swimsuit area.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
News notes from today. Breaking news in Florida this afternoon.
It's taller than the trees.
Yeah.
Oh, my word. Run for your lives.
That's right.
Wow.
Breaking news from Florida. Multiple law enforcement agencies have surrounded a Panama City, Florida apartment building where there's a shooter barricaded inside. City spokeswoman Caitlin Lawrence says it's still an active situation. The suspect has been firing on law enforcement. Nobody's been hit, although one civilian received minor injuries in the shooting. Bay County Sheriff's Office Chief Investigator Jimmy Stanford says the suspect is believed to be the same person sought in a suspicious death at a home in Santa Rosa Beach.
Redneck Riviera there.
Yeah. Missouri man charged in Hennepin County has pleaded guilty to offering to hire minors for sex during the Super Bowl. According to the Hennepin...
Oh, leave them alone for God.
Minors.
Oh, minors, excuse me.
Yeah, he didn't mean like the coal miners. He meant the kids that were underage.
Yeah.
Coal miners, that's okay.
I'm
Not talking about some
retracting that.
Judge, I
I'm
retract
retracting that. Minors.
Retracting
That's not some scruffy old West Virginian.
According to the Hennepin County Attorney's Office, 33-year-old...
Hey, old man, put down that corncob pipe.
Come on over here, you toothless brute.
33-year-old...
Sexy bleeping bleeper.
33-year-old
You got
Justin...
any lava around here?
Justin Beard pleaded guilty to one count of prostitution of children under the age of 16. Beard had been arrested.
Oh, boy, I'm glad. I'm sorry I'm sitting.
I'm glad you
You
retracted.
retracted.
You got
You
you're
retracted.
covered.
I missed the minors.
Beard was arrested and charged in February after investigators learned he had responded to a Craigslist ad placed by a task force tackling sex trafficking. According to the attorney's office, Beard, believing he was talking with a man trafficking a 15-year-old girl and a 13-year-old boy, set up a meeting. When he arrived at a designated meeting place at a Minnetonka apartment, he was arrested. Provided he follows the terms of his 3-year probation, he's expected to get a stay of execution and would not be sent to prison. He would also get 120 days in the Hennepin County Workhouse. His sentencing set for July 10th.
Do we know how many guys got pinched for adult hookers? For adult,
I have heard no updates
For
on
the
it.
Super Bowl?
Yeah, we were going to crack down on
47.
that. We got to crack down on that.
Is that a real number, Joe? Or did you
No,
make
I just
that
better
up?
Better be more than that. We can get 47 on a normal weekend, for God's sake.
Speaking of that, the Atlanta Bureau of whatever it's called, the host
Criminal
committee.
apprehension.
No, the host committee for the Super Bowl next year posted we need 10,000 volunteers, and people are going insane because of the price of the new stadium down there and how this was supposed to attract jobs. So they're now feeling the same effects.
This is like a traveling medicine show, this Super Bowl.
Yes.
They just roll in and start grifting people right away.
Yep. They
President
give you a T-shirt. What the hell are you complaining?
No,
about?
you got a jacket.
Bold
You got
North
every
jacket.
Yeah, but Atlanta, you won't get a
Yeah, it
jacket.
says
'cause
Bold
it's not
North.
cold
Yeah.
enough. Yeah.
President Trump said during an Oval Office meeting with South Korean President Moon Jae-in that he thinks Kim Jong-un is serious about denuclearization, but appeared to suggest the June 12th date for the Singapore summit may not work out. He said, if it
Got a
doesn't,
thing?
Got a
happen,
golf round at
I'm busy that day.
Kenny, how do you feel that you used the same line I did 2 hours ago?
exact same line.
Yeah.
He'll be in Bedminster that weekend.
Trump said if it doesn't happen, maybe it'll happen later. He said, frankly, it has a chance to be a great meeting for North Korea and a great meeting for the world. The president hailed North Koreans as hardworking, great people. You're about ready to retire now, aren't you, Kenny?
I am
After
working
finding
extra
that.
hard to get him fired, though. Doing my job. Jesus.
Remember this story? You guys remember David Weinlich?
Yes.
The groom who said I do to a woman he had just met in a well-publicized wedding at the Mall of America about 20 years ago?
Yes.
He has,
Not remember that.
he has died of colon cancer.
That's unfortunate.
Was he still
Yes,
married?
It is. Yep, they were still married.
That marriage worked.
It did work, yep. Minneapolis City Council member Steve Fletcher, a friend who helped arrange Weinlich's marriage to Elizabeth Ruins in June of 1998, says Weinlich died Sunday night in hospice care in a Minneapolis suburb. Weinlich had been diagnosed with terminal colon cancer in March of 2017. He and his wife renewed their vows at the Mall of America last August. He told relatives and friends he'd be married June 13th, 1998, even though he didn't have a bride in mind. Friends chose Runs from among hundreds of interested women to be his bride. They were married at the Mall of America. As Joe said, it worked out. The couple has 4 children.
Wow.
4.
How old was
Just
he?
shows if you go into a
48.
marriage with minimal expectations, everything can be fine.
Right.
That's the key.
One
Keep
way
the
to look at it.
expectations
Yeah.
low.
Lower your
How
standards.
old was he, John?
He was 48.
48.
Will the Crabby Coffee Shop have a division of marriage counseling?
No.
But I was going to ask Kenny, the new Starbucks thing where as they continue to try to modify their policy, that it now takes 2 baristas to agree somebody's
Got to go.
if somebody has to go.
Oh,
if
buddy
if the
policy.
vote's 1-on-1, then they get to stay. So, what do you think? How's the voting going to go? In the
I
Crabby
think what we
Coffee
do
Shop?
is we put a time limit on every single customer's duration in the store.
Yeah.
You get 60 seconds. If your
And
orders,
you're not taking out your computer and sitting over there in the corner.
You're not writing a book in the corner on our time.
there's no chairs in this place.
You know how you do it?
We are going to have a smoking section.
An evaporating cup. The cup evaporates after so long.
Right.
Or I just come out and take it away.
That too.
Well, when I was establishing the Crabby Coffee Shop in print, I said, I'm setting out a bowl of ice cubes so people can cool their coffee.
Yeah.
And that was met with derision. No, that was a violation.
That was too comforting.
No
and
ice. No ice. No ice. No
That's
ice.
Yeah,
even
but then
too
you get them
nice.
moving faster.
Well, that
if
was
you
my
throw it.
point. Let's get right to it.
And their coffee's not going to be hot because it's coming in those gross white styrofoam cups with no
white
lids.
mugs, white glass mugs or
No,
pottery mugs.
BS. You're not in this.
I own the
You
damn
can't
thing.
step in here
I'm taking it.
like Paul bleeping Westerberg and take my band over.
No, I'm claiming complete ownership of it.
No, you're
I
not.
got requests from Cincinnati and Madison, Wisconsin to open franchises.
I've had enough of you stealing my material over the years. You're not taking this away.
We screwed up, though, right down here on the corner when that one was
Wouldn't that
for
be
sale,
perfect?
where
Yeah.
the train turns, and then they turned it into another.
Too bad our ambition is so frail, huh?
Another one of those grocery stores where they're
That's why I'm
selling-
taking it.
Did I ever go out on my tirade about these farm market places?
Mean farmers markets?
Farmers markets, yeah.
What about them?
I went to one last year.
Good.
They all get the same crap.
Well, it's farmers
Everybody,
markets.
there's
Gourds?
everybody-
You mean things that grow
What do you
out
want
of
to farm to sell
things that grow out of the
stereos?
ground?
Why do we need?
What do you want to buy?
25
Beach
different-
towels?
Why do we need 25
I think
different
he's right.
tables of beans?
Right.
Some rutabagas.
How the hell do I know if your beans are any better than the person?
Joe blows beans right. Yeah. No, I think he's got a good point.
Well, it's produce. What did you think it was going to
Yeah,
be?
well, I didn't
No, but
think you
how
had
many
the same
people do we
stuff.
need
Where's your
selling
suntan
apples?
lotion? Farmer Zong, where are the recliners?
Well, why do we need to? You know how much they throw away? It's ridiculous. What are we removing out there? What are we taking off the roof?
What do you mean we?
Well, we're all. I'm just like the collective we.
The collective we, man.
What
I could sit and watch
what
that all
Lebowski
day.
Call it? What they call it? The what kind of we? The
I think you said collective.
No, it wasn't. It was better than that. It was better.
Pat, you had to tweet out the Brandy Chastain
Yes.
plaque. Jeff Passel tweeted out that it looks more like me than it does anybody else.
Brandy Chastain.
It's really bad.
It's the Bay Area. It's the Bay Area Hall of Fame. I said it looks more like Ratto than Brandy
right.
Chastain, except with the mustache. That was brutal. If I was her, I would have walked out.
Oh, God.
Close that shade, would you? I can't see
Yeah,
those
I
old
gotta
men.
close that.
You thought you knew how to party? Check out this story from Great Britain.
Oh, man, the royal wedding party, I bet.
Nope. A drugged up man was caught filling up a hotel bath with potatoes while wearing a bra during an epic 5-day MDMA binge.
A what kind of binge?
MDMA, like a designer drug.
Wow.
MDMA. When Judge Peter
Is that
Henry,
like a Louis Vuitton?
when Judge Peter Henry asked James Johnson why he was filling up a bath with potatoes, he replied, "It just felt like the right thing to do at the time."
It sure did.
30-year-old Johnson was caught by officers wearing a woman's bra over his shirt, carrying a bag of spuds as he entered the Travel Lodge in Eastleigh.
You guys have never done X, have you?
No, I haven't, Kenny.
This makes sense if you have. It makes total sense.
This makes sense. if you
Must have been a 50-pound bag of potatoes.
When you
Must
asked
have been
them-
a lot of potatoes.
You guys just don't get it.
Kenny, when you asked Joe and Pat if you ever done X, you should have followed it up with, "Be a whole lot cooler if you did."
man.
Officers searched his room and found what they called an Aladdin's cave of drugs, including MDMA, ecstasy, and a psychedelic substance called 2CB. Southampton Crown Court heard Johnson and two friends had decided to go on a one-night binge, but it ended up lasting 5 days. James Kellum, the
The
prosecutor,
fun got away.
prosecutor told the court hotel staff phoned the police after smelling marijuana in the room. They saw Johnson with a bag of potatoes and in women's clothing. It may be that led officers to think he was intoxicated.
Don't you at some point just feel like, man, I should just go for a walk? No?
His lawyer said Johnson...
Dance, maybe.
Okay.
His lawyer said Johnson was remorseful and an intelligent man who made a mistake. Judge Henry said the case was odd and bizarre and sentenced Johnston to an 18-month community order, the requirement to carry out a 9-month drug rehab program.
So when the Super Bowl was here, like everybody else, I went to Browerville to do the Tom Brady's relatives piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Grandpa Brady.
Did he have a bathtub full
was
of
he
potatoes?
doing
I'm gonna
X?
get to it. Grandpa Brady lived out on the farm, and they had cats all over the place, like every other old farm.
Right.
And dinner was potatoes.
Really?
He had a friend who would give him
Potatoes.
50-pound bags of potatoes. He'd boil up the potatoes and throw them out in the yard, and the cats. He had potato-eating cats.
He fixed them for him, though.
Well, he softened them up. Yeah.
Wow.
He'd throw them out. He'd boil them up and throw them out in the yard, and the cats would come running.
They get all fat and lethargic and go on
I
go
never
on
heard
welfare.
Of a potato-eating cat.
A sad story from South Carolina indicating, well, there's a lot of people not very smart in the world. South Carolina family said a store's bakery refused to print summa cum laude on their son's graduation cake, confusing the term for profanity.
The middle part of it.
That's correct, yes. Kara Kosinski.
Did they make any attempt to explain this? To
They
him,
did,
or
they did, as you'll see here. Yeah.
Okay.
Magna? Oh, my word, that's foul.
Kara Kosinski of Charleston, South Carolina, said her son Jacob
Loudly.
graduated summa cum laude
Very
with
smart kid. Very smart kid.
highest honors from a homeschooling program on Saturday, and she wanted to
Wait a
celebrate
minute.
the occasion.
You can't get summa cum laude from homeschool.
It's a Christian-based homeschooling program, and they apparently take part with other homeschoolers, and that's why he ended up with all
He
that.
graduated first in his class.
They wanted,
What a bunch of crap that is.
they
They
wanted,
haven't- you ever have a... Show me a homeschool kid who got a C- once, and I'll start taking it a little more serious.
I know homeschooled kids, and they're smarter than your average kid.
Well,
They
They
do come out smart.
Listen, you can't have all these kids in the country being homeschooled without having one rockhead in the group who flunked out.
We tried to get him through, but it was in our own house. We couldn't do it.
We flunked him out of homeschool.
Kozinski said she ordered the cake online from Publix.
Yes.
Ran into an obstacle when the order form told her summa cum laude.
If you've been
was-
a bad person at homeschool, they can't send you home.
Right.
What do you do?
Send them to school.
was not acceptable due to the inclusion of profanity. The mom said she used special instructions part of the order form to explain what the term meant and included a link to a website that explained the Latin. Kozinski said her husband picked up the cake, but it was when they opened it at the graduation party, it said summa dash laude.
What the hell? Doesn't it mean with?
I don't know.
Graduating.
Depends on who's in the room.
Let me look it up on Urban Dictionary. Let me
With
see.
who? With who, Suchi boy?
No, it just means with.
Okay.
With laudatory praising.
With both hands.
Is Summa as good as Magna? Magna's better than Summa.
I don't know. Magna's pretty good.
She told the Washington Post it was
I've never met Magna or Summa, so I don't know what those two twins are like.
Kozinski said she
But I'm sure I would loudly.
had to explain to party guests, including Jacob's 70-year-old grandmother, why the store would omit the middle word from the cake. Publix apologized to the family and offered to refund the price of the cake.
Did they fire the idiot? That's what I want to know.
They did not say. I don't know. So that's where that. Police in a Cleveland suburb thought they had a drunk on their hands when a man called to report a pig following home from a train station.
All right.
North Ridgeville, Ohio officers arrived on the scene early Saturday.
No Wisconsin jokes here either, you meatheads. Shut up.
Arrived on the scene early Saturday, found the man was sober, and there was indeed a pig following him. The officer managed to get the pig in his patrol car, transported it to the station.
It's even more funny.
Was eventually reunited with its owner. Writing on Facebook, police mentioned the irony of the pig in a police car.
There you go.
now so that anyone that thinks they're funny is actually unoriginal and trying way
by
too
the
hard.
Wyoming Police Department would really have fun.
They'd
with
lap
this one,
that
wouldn't
up.
they? Oh,
Yeah.
man, they'd love it. Yeah.
And in Florida, 50-year-old Jeffrey Sable and 32-year-old Santa Walters grabbed a motorized shopping cart from a Walmart in Largo. They didn't need it. They just decided to steal it. Security cameras caught them doing that. Shortly after the theft was reported, the cart spotted outside Jimmy's Sports Bar in Largo.
There it is. Hey, let's stop off at Jimmy's on the way home, guys.
Could they both fit on it?
Oh, yep. Officer found the couple at the bar drinking. They first denied the theft, but then they said, yeah, we took it to come to the bar. They were arrested on charges of grand theft.
Well, that's fantastic, John.
It's too bad they aren't younger. The Vikings would sign them. They like people driving down the street drunk in odd vehicles.
Yep. What do you have coming up on the ride?
Well, my guy Chip was over at the press conference today. Also, we'll talk a little about the Wild and other matters. And then the great Jim Cott at 5:03 will be with us to his every other week conversation on baseball. And we will talk about the Jim Cott plan to reduce Major League Baseball games from 9 innings to 7.
Whose plan is that?
Cott has thrown it out there 2 weeks ago because he just the time
He's a
of game.
moron.
No, the time of game is just.
Well, why is that a problem?
But he's saying if baseball wants to shorten the game, all these goofy little plans they have are not going to work. So they might as well look at 7
But you
innings.
can't go to 7 innings.
Well, I think that there's many people that share your opinion.
Mm-hmm. Do you?
I'm going to ask him what's wrong with 8. Why do we have to go to 7 right away?
What's wrong with 9?
Well,
baseball's a game of threes.
3 hours and 3 hours. That's probably, it is a game of threes, but we can change that. We don't have to do
That's
that.
a bad idea.
All right.
1500 ESPN is KSTP St. Paul, Minneapolis 73.
Hi, this is Chris Howard, host of Plugged In with Chris Howard. It's crazy to think that a few weeks ago we were talking about whether or not Tua Tagovailoa should consider retiring after 2 concussions and worldwide debates on player safety and NFL culpability. Tua has done nothing but go back to work and currently has the Dolphins riding a 3-game win streak and 1 loss behind the division favorite Buffalo Bills. While everyone was yapping about the end of his career, Tua Tagovailoa said he'll decide when it's time. And clearly, he's not ready to hang up the cleats. Hi, this is Chris Howard from the Plugged In with Chris Howard podcast. BetOnline.net is your number one source for betting football and the start of the new basketball season. Find all the latest player developments, team matchups, news, podcasts, and in-depth analysis on every game. BetOnline remains your continued source for all your sports wagering information with live betting, up-to-the-minute scores for the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite games and events, including the MLB playoffs, the start of the NHL season, MMA, boxing, and golf. And if you love sports podcasts, you can find those at BetOnline as well. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts.